By and large, I think we have done very well. The past 25 years have recorded far more progress for Nigeria than any previous period. If you look at from 1966 to, I mean, the 25 years from 1966, maybe that would be 1981. How much progress did we make? And then the next 25 years and so on, which were dominated by military and unitary system then. But with the advent of democracy, we have seen a lot in terms of human capital development, in terms of production of elite, in terms of infrastructure, in terms of educational institutions, in terms of government's attempt to make life easier for people. We have seen a lot, and I think I will rate Nigeria democracy maybe 60, 70%, depending on which tenure. Some of the presidents have done very well, likewise, some of the governors. Some of them have done poorly, but the beauty of it is that they all have tenure. So, no matter how good you are, or no matter how bad you are, as a chief executive, you can't do more than 8 years. It's defined, it is certain. So, I think we have done well. Of course, most people will say no, but if you look at where we're coming from, um, the increase is not dramatic, so to say. We cannot say the increase has been dramatic, but by and large, but for the insecurity, which should not be blamed on democracy, but for the insecurity, I think people's access to opportunities have improved. Uh, for example, the younger people now can expect to enter higher institutions because between 1999 and now, the capacity to absorb students into tertiary institutions have improved dramatically. Whether you want to study nursing, whether it is the normal regular university you want to attend, and so in 1999, aside from the Ekiti State University and the Federal Poly, there are no other institutions. But as I'm talking now, I must be close to 5 or 6 in Ekiti State. You can add Foye, you can add the one you can add the private one in Iloro, there is one in Okemesi, and so many opportunities. So we have done fairly well, but you see, people expect far more than what is being delivered at the moment. People expect far more, and you can't grudge them that. But we cannot move beyond the capacity of the people we put in charge. And that is the limitation to democracy. You can't move beyond the capacity of whoever is leading. But you have the beauty that whatever the capacity, after 4 or 8 years, they have to renew their tenure, and then that will be the time for you to examine how they have performed and determine whether they should continue or not. But by and large, I think we can pat ourselves on the back that we have tried. We're on course. Over the past 25 years, some of them have done very, very well. Some of them have been elected and they have absconded. You didn't see them again until the next elections. And so, by and large, I think that people are beginning to hold their representatives onto account. There is increasing demand for accountability. There is increasing demand to say, what are you actually doing there? Why are your colleagues doing this and you are not doing it? And so on, peer review and so on and so forth. So, I come from Oba, and luckily, most of the people who have chosen, particularly within the past 10 years, particularly in the House of Reps, they have done very well. And in the House of Assembly, they have done very well too. can talk for myself. And speaking for myself, I think the president has done very well. I think the governor has also done very well. And I'll be voting for them. I'll be voting for the two of them. I hope it will become more robust and deeper as well. There's increasing tolerance for alternative views and so on. And my prayer is that we just not allow religious issues to derail what we are having. You understand? I'm praying that we. You see, there's a gentleman in I don't know whether it's Burkina Faso now or is it Mali, one of those French countries, and he has insisted that look, there must be a clear separation between ideologies that can promote unity and those ones that will promote violence and disruption. So I think a clergy was trying to classify some people as pagans that are befitting of beheading and so on. And they got him arrested. We have a few of such reckless people here in Nigeria. And I think that the earlier government understands the need to take their platform away, the better for everybody. So my hope is that this democracy will be well guided, that we don't allow anything to derail it, particularly those things that that differentiate us from one another. I'm Yoruba, I'm Christian. In my community, there are fellow Yoruba that are not Christians. They have as much right to peace as I do. At the moment I begin to describe some of them as maybe cockroach or rat or something because we don't belong to the same religious faith, I'm beginning to cause chaos. That's what it means. And we must see it as that. Every person who wants to stand and say, these people, not just that they are not going to make heaven, they are not fit for this earth. You understand? Such people, we should not have room for them. They are the people that can derail this democracy. The other thing is that if we do not enforce the rule of law, it can also delay democracy because it will build a community of disgruntled people. When you know that you don't have access to justice, things are going wrong, and there's no way you can redress them, and so on and so forth, we must ensure that such things are nipped in the bud. Then corruption can also derail this democracy. And corruption itself is a sabotage against the rule of law. In every government setup, there are procedures for every activity. People who benefit from corruption are able to do so because they sabotage the guidelines and procedures that have been laid for attainment of specific objectives. And they redirect everything to favor themselves. So such practices, we should, if we may not be able to eliminate it, but we can bring it to the barest minimum. And it happens across the entire society. I'm not just talking about people in government and in power. I'm talking about even your domestic aid that you say, go and do this for me. He goes to the market and half of what you have given him, he pockets to himself. I'm talking of police, I'm talking of judges, I'm talking of teachers, lecturers, the whole society, because it's from that we recruit people into politics and into political offices. And if the preponderant available resources are people with skewed ethics, we'll continue to have such problems. The Nigerian leaders should never forget that they are leaders because they are people they are leading. And As a Christian, I remember when Jesus was departing, he told Peter, he said, "Feed my flock." He said it twice, I mean 3 times. A leader should be concerned with the people following him, with the flock. You know, I read the book of this man from Singapore. He said he was going to the office one day and he saw children coming from school and he saw so many of them and he said, wow, how in 5, 10 years, what would these children be doing? And that was when he began to think of how all these children would be able to find their feet and become stakeholders in the economy and so on. So we're looking at a situation where our leaders will be concerned with, look, these students that I'm building schools for, what will they do when they graduate? Are they getting the right skills? If we don't give them jobs in the bureaucracy, will they be able to feed themselves? Will they be able to stand on their own? Will they be able to live according to the standards that they have expected, having invested so much in their human capital development and so on? So these are things I believe that every leader should be concerned with. What will the next generation do? How can our society accommodate the next generation without creating frustration and disappointment for them? I think those are the salient things.
People of the fountain.